Hello folks, I hope you're well. We're back with a great little video for you today. We're going to take a look at Ride by Steve Lacy. This is a great song. It's come up I don't know how many times recently with my students. I learnt it, I listened to it, I loved it. And today we're going to not only look at the chord sequence and how he plays that and discuss some of the chords in there, we're also going to take a look at a solo idea. Based on a live version of the song that I found on YouTube. The live version in question is from 4 years ago. It was at the Baltimore Soundstage. That's the video. And he does an absolutely ripping solo about halfway through the song that obviously isn't on the record. The solo on that version feels to me like it's improvised. It might not be, but certainly that's how it comes across. With that in mind, what we're going to do is not copy that solo note for note, although you could do if you wanted to. We're going to just look at some of the concepts that he uses, and I'm going to give you some scale suggestions and things that you could try when you jam along with the chords. Let's have a look at the chords. There are some very, very cool chords in this song. If you're someone that's mostly been down this end of the neck so far, and you're just getting into bar chords, this is going to be great for you to explore some different flavours and some different shapes with your fingers. So the first chord, there's a bit of debate about this one. D7 sus2, D9 sus2. Either way, it's a bar at the 5th fret and then your third finger at the 7th fret. And you're playing from the A string, you get this sound. Then you move that shape, the whole thing, up one string. That gives you A minor 7. So again, barring from the 5th and third finger on the 7th fret of the A string. And you're playing all of them on that one. Then you go back to where you started, but this time you add the middle finger on the 6th fret of the B string. That gives you D minor 7. We're going to play from the A string up to the B string, so that is the last note you play. Then you're going to play the 8th fret of the B string with your little finger, and then play the 5th fret on the high E string that's barred at the moment, and that gives you the melody that you hear coming out of that D minor 7 chord. Then you go back to your A minor 7 and you just move it down the neck. G sharp minor 7 to G minor 7. Okay, so I'll just recap everything we have so far really slowly. One final note about that little melody on the D minor 7 chord. When you play that, when you get to that high note, you want to take that little finger off the 8th fret of the B string so it doesn't ring out. So you hear this, as opposed to this. It sounds nice, but it's not what's on the record. So let's continue. We've landed on that G minor 7 there. The next thing to do is to add the little finger to the 5th fret of the E string to give you G minor 9, and you just play that chord twice. From there we're going to move straight to E minor 7. Now you might know a bunch of ways to play that. In this case, what you want to do is play 2nd fret A string and 3rd fret B string. And actually it sounds to me like he's not playing the root note, so we just play A string down and potentially all the way down, or maybe just up to the B string. You can decide yourself on that. And the last chord of the first half hour loop is this rather lovely A7 sharp 5. The way I'm playing that is 5th fret on the low E, 5th fret on the D, 6th fret on the G, and 6th fret on the B, and I'm not playing the high E string. You could just as easily take the index finger off and play the open E string instead of the 5th fret of the low E. For some reason, my hand just goes to that. It's important to remember that the loop is in 2 halves and it just repeats like that throughout the whole song. So here is the first half really slowly. Make sure you're landing this G minor 7 on the beat after you've moved through the A minor 7, the G sharp minor 7 on the off beat. The second half of the loop is pretty similar to the first half until we get down to the G minor 9. So I'll play up to there and then show you how it changes. At that point, you want to take your little finger off and just play your straight up G minor 7, then move to an F major 7, which is index finger on the E string 1st fret. Then we've got 2nd fret D string, 2nd fret G string, and 1st fret B string. And that's it. You want to be muting the A string if you can, because obviously you're going to pass it as you go down, and not playing the high E string, so it's going to sound like this. And then you're going to shift up to the C7 flat 9, which is a cool chord, particularly if you've never come across it. The way I'm playing that in this case, because I've come from the F major 7, is I'm barring the 2nd fret over the D, the G and the B string, and then I'm adding the 3rd finger on the A string 3rd fret and my little finger on the G string 3rd fret, and you get this. Now you could play that with 4 fingers, so I've got the D string there and the B string in the 2nd fret. It's the same chord. If you like that way of playing it, you can. I just find it easier to move here into the bar version of that shape. So I'll play the whole of that second half really slowly. So I'll play you the whole loop through now really slowly. Hopefully that all makes sense. Let's now have a look at some solo ideas that you could use with this chord sequence. As far as the solo on the live version that I found, there's a couple of interesting things to point out. So you could wail away quite happily with the old D minor pentatonic, no worries at all. It'll sound fine, but let's take it a step further. Let's add the note E in. Let's add the note B flat in and make it D natural minor. So if you want to talk frets on that, we go 10, 12, 13, 10, 12, 13, 10, 12, 9, 10, 12, 10, 11, 13, 10, 12, 13 if you want to, and off you go. The point isn't really the actual scale shape. It's these notes, it's the E and the B flat, and adding them into your playing that's going to make your solos more interesting over a chord sequence of this type. To take it one step further, when you listen to that Steve Lacy solo, you hear C sharps. Now, what does that mean? Well, he's clearly not playing the D major scale. He's playing the D harmonic minor. And so on. Now, that sounds slightly weird on its own, but when you drop those notes in at the right points, and you can find out just by trying what are the right points and the wrong points, you'll be amazed at what that does. That's our A7 sharp 5. It's got a C sharp in it. Similarly, if we look at the last chord, that's our C7 flat 9. What do you know? The flat 9 is also a C sharp. So even if you just dropped C sharps over those two chords, you're going to really add to the tonal flavour of your solo. If you've never come across it, here is the D harmonic minor starting at the 10th fret. So we go 10, 12, 13, 10, 12, 13, 11, there's the C sharp, 12, 9, 10, 12, 10, 11, 9, 10. And back down, 9, 11, 10, 12, 10, 9, 12, 11, 13, 12, 10, 13, 12, 10. Have fun. So there you go. I hope you have a lot of fun with that. If you have any questions, please leave them downstairs. And do subscribe if you haven't already. Many thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Yeah, what a good little girl. You can let me work now.